Hey all, welcome to this week's acquisition report here at the Crawford Institute of Pop Culture Collectibles. This is a week with 7 new items, starting with Kang as Dole. Remember this Treehouse of Horror episode, of course, and this series of 4 Super 7 reaction figures has slowly come out over the last couple of weeks. The Skeleton Marge, the Grim Reaper Homer, and the Inside Out Bart have all come individually, and now finally Kang Dole comes out to complete the set. I am loving these Super 7 figures, the reaction ones. There's something about the scale, fits in nicely with the McFarlane stuff, and there's just something about the style that I think fits better with the rest of my Simpsons collectibles. I'm liking them even better than the Ultimates that Super 7 does. I know, it's kind of blasphemous. Now I'm going to show you something that the Director of Acquisitions should have brought up 2 or 3 weeks ago when it actually arrived. He's been given a stern talking to because he forgot to mention this Captain America from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This Falcon version of Captain America is fantastic. If you've got the earlier Falcon, one of the earlier ones like this one here, they're nice, they're great, but they can't hold a candle to how cool this one is. The wings are so poseable, so articulated. It's just such a great design. It's a really cool figure. I highly recommend it if you have not picked it up. So, now that the Director of Acquisitions has been yelled at about that, let's go over here. Each week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been adding a new 112 collective figure. This week is no different. This time it's Destro, the first of their G.I. Joe figures. And I've heard some whining about this guy online, but man, he is so cool. He comes with a ton of excellent accessories. I have a couple nits. I may end up reviewing him. I do have a couple nits with him, but it's going to be a great series of G.I. Joe figures. I'm hoping people don't make the mistake of sleeping on these, especially here at the early releases, so that later on they're not having a hard time coming up with them. So that's 3 of the 7. Now it'll be 2 and 2. 2 here from the Gargoyles collection. Now I'm going to figure out some way to better display these Gargoyles. They're starting to get up to be a pretty big set now that Brooklyn and Broadway both showed up this week in the mail. I haven't seen them in stores around here yet. I know some areas have, but I had to wait for my online order to come in. And I think I'm going to make a second shelf up there. So that they can have, each could be on spread out on 2 shelves up on top. There's plenty of room with that shelf. It's about 22 inches tall, so there's plenty of room to fit those figures on 2 rows. So that's 2. That leaves just 2 more figures. And the other 2 come from its own line as well. The new Indiana Jones Adventure Collection, which I have a nice, excuse me, I have a nice setup over here, preparing for all the releases. So we got Professor Jones, as well as Walter Donovan this week. Now, Walter, of course, comes with 2 head sculpts, just like Tote did. So I'm going to probably pick up a second Walter Donovan to have him with the Grail. You can see I put the Grail over here with the Ark. And I'm looking still for a second Tote. Surprisingly enough, while I've seen all the other figures more than once at the store, he has been the one I have not been able to find a second time. So, hopefully we'll see a couple more of those coming out here pretty soon. That's about it for this week in terms of acquisitions at the CIOPCC. Hopefully your week has been good. Hopefully the collecting is great. Make sure you subscribe, and I will talk to you next week.